Pirate baseball on the proverbial roll.
How about them Pirates, baby?
How about them Pirates, baby? Cliff Godwin from many years ago. There he is with us here, Coach Godwin, with Stephen Igo and myself. And it's great to have Coach with us here. Another tremendous week, Coach. And I was just commenting to Stephen a minute ago. Boy, it feels like the NC State game was a month ago. But it was one of those last week. And what an environment that was. For your team to play in before the home crowd, a record crowd announced at over 6,000. Regional, super regional like atmosphere, wild game, and a lot of fun. And the return of Jacob Starling in that one, that might have been one of the great individual performances in Pirate history. So let's start talking about the game with the Pack before we roll into the weekend sweep at Memphis.
It does feel like a while ago, but it was an awesome environment. Our fans were great. We love it. We love to play at home when there's over 6,000 fans there, and they were tremendous. I thought our guys really played well on the pitching side of things. I thought, Richie got us off to a good start. Danny got us out of a jam. And then the guys behind him, Norby and Groller, did a really good job. And offensively, we were able to just continue to tack on runs. And, of course, Starr had a huge night. And so happy for him, just because you can imagine how frustrating it is for a senior to be injured when, he really hasn't missed a lot of time at East Carolina because of injury. He broke his leg in the summer after his, freshman year here. And that took him some time to get back. But he's never really missed an extended amount of time at East Carolina from playing. And I'm just so happy because he's worked his tail off with Logan Rupp now, our athletic trainer, and Kevin Youngs to just get back on the field.
Go ahead, Igo.
Hitting for the cycle, Coach, such a prestigious honor, and it's been 14 years since another ECU player has done it. So, pretty awesome moment. But the return of Starr, just in general, it seems to lengthen the lineup so much. And I know Colby Wallace did a great job filling in. But can you just talk about how much it maybe lengthens the lineup with his at-bats from day to day when he's in the middle of that order?
Well, I saw some chatter. It always makes me laugh, when people are like, he just inserted him right into the four hole. Well, that's where he was before he got hurt. And he actually, I think, has swung the bat better because he slowed the game down after the injury, and probably sitting back and watching helped as well. But I'm going to be honest with you, I had no idea he was even close to the cycle because I was so entrenched into the game. And he actually wasn't running great towards like the fifth, sixth inning. And we had already had conversations about when we needed to get him out of the game. And so I'm just thankful that we didn't take him out before he hit the cycle. But it was close there that we were going to take him out of the game and put somebody else in there just because he wasn't moving as well at the end of the game.
Going 4-0, Coach, obviously not easy, especially when two of your top arms, are unavailable. Give us an update on Zach Root, Wyatt Lunsford, Shinkman. Could they have pitched this week, and kind of what went into not throwing those guys in the 4-0 week?
No, they couldn't have pitched this week. They're feeling better, but two different things, kind of. I won't go into specifics, but they're both dealing with some arm soreness. But as you guys know, their careers are way more important than us winning a baseball game. But they're getting all the treatment, physical therapy this week. Us having no midweek game is going to be a huge boost in our arm, so to speak, to let our position players get their feet back underneath them, especially Starr and Riley Johnson, and even JC. I think he's so big that the season wears on his body as well. So getting them off their feet for a couple of days and then letting our pitching rest for a couple of days is going to be key. So Monday and Tuesday, we won't even practice. We'll just lift weights, and they'll do a lot of treatments, and then we'll get back on the field on Wednesday and practice Wednesday and Thursday.
Coach, with Shink and Root, is it kind of a maintenance deal, the best way to term it, or is there any concern that they might, have a longer term deal, or is it more maintenance at this point?
I'm not a doctor,
yeah.
So at this point, we feel okay about them coming back this year. For me to say 100%, I couldn't tell you that. So we're taking it day by day, but those guys will be seen by the best here and evaluated at a higher level since we're back at home and not on the road. And we'll continue to help them. But, like I said, it's day to day.
And then I've gotten a lot of questions about Jake Hunter, obviously, too, leaving yesterday's game. Can you just provide an update there, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you see that as a coach of one of our players, it's, scary. The fans, scary for them too. And, I've had a few conversations with Jake after the game. And the thing that comes to mind with me, and everybody thinks the worst, and it could be the worst. I don't know. I don't have the crystal ball. But, Gavin Williams in 2018, he's throwing 100 miles an hour in Durham. And he's doing it while he's slide stepping. And I think he threw like his 35th, 36th pitch of the outing, and I think it was a ground ball, and he walked off the field crying, holding his arm. Well, of course, my mind went straight to, okay, he's just torn his UCL. But it was a flexor strain, and he was able to come back a month or 5 weeks later and actually aggravated him again at some point in time that season. So we're going to pray for the best. Obviously, I can't see Jake I don't think he will be able to pick up a baseball this week, but we'll be getting him seen with our doctors and imaging and all that good stuff, and we'll be right there with him regardless of the outcome.
Pirate head coach Cliff Godwin is with us. Nice bounce back weekend for Danny Beal, who continues to be a stalwart for you out of the pen.
Yeah, Danny was tremendous on Saturday. We knew Groller couldn't go, too long after throwing 2 innings on Tuesday against State to close out the game. And then Danny was just tremendous for 6 innings, I think it was, and only gave up a solo homer. Of course, with Root and Shink not being available, it lengthened our bullpen as far as, yesterday we could go to several different guys that hadn't been used yet. So that was a good thing.
And Chris Kaylor was one of those guys, really looked at times he's had some pretty electric outings. Looked really good for you this weekend.
He was really good yesterday, really good. I think he went 4 innings, somewhere around there, and gave up, a solo home run, which by that time our offense had, extended the lead. So that was really good. And, I didn't think we were very good offensively at the beginning of the game. I thought their guy did a good job against us. Of course, we had to overcome a call of obstruction or whatever you want to call it with Bristol that cost us a run. But at the end of the day, our guys made their own breaks and were able to come out with a sweep with 2 of our best arms down, which is really impressive. And I told them how proud of the pitching staff I was this weekend of just next man up mentality. And nobody's going to feel sorry for East Carolina Pirates, I can tell you, with a couple of injuries, because they all want to beat us. But our guys did a great job.
Before we get into maybe some of the individual numbers offensively, and Igo starts peppering you with the probing questions as he's apt to do, the thing, just on the whole, the defense this year, I mean, there's been some spectacular plays and some great individual efforts, but, just the emphasis that's been put on defense when you ask pitchers or even guys that play behind the pitchers about it, they're very quick to talk about Coach Palumbo and all the coaches and how much that is worked on. So, it's until it's something is committed like an error or something, nobody ever really thinks about it. But I mean, a lot of work has gone into guys improving, but also that defense being as solid as it's been this season.
Yeah, it makes my skin crawl when, you're not good defensively, because you can control that. You feel like pitching and defense is something that you can control on most days. I mean, it's more of an offensive game now than it was 10 years ago, but Jeff has put together great defensive teams his entire, career here at East Carolina, but we all take pride in it. Even Coach Knight, Coach Lartigue, everybody on our staff, because we know we can always, handle that. I think Joey Barini has played spectacular at shortstop, maybe even a tick better than I thought he would ever be able to do. And some of the plays he's been able to make, a lot of the credit goes to Coach Palumbo, but Dixon Williams at third base or second, Star, of course, Carter Cunningham made some really good picks this weekend. Of course, J-Dub caught all weekend. Ryan fouled a ball off his foot, so we didn't think he could catch on Saturday, which he had a good offensive day. He just couldn't get back there and catch and back up first base and stuff. So, and then the outfield defense has been really good as well. Bristol Carter, Riley Johnson, JC, Nowak when he's out there. So really proud that our guys take pride in it, because defense does win championships. You're not always going to score 14 runs, and you got to be able to take care of the baseball and eliminate free 90s from the other team. And our guys, for the most part this year, have done a really good job of that.
Coach, 13-6 true road record now through 19 road games, just 3 road games left at Tulane later on. I think 7-1 in the last 8 road games. What do you feel like has gone into the road success for you guys this year?
I just think our guys have been really mature about their business, and we talk about playing for a championship every day, because you are in some capacity, whether we're playing a midweek game or not, to reach the goals we want to reach. You have to play your best brand of baseball every single day. I mean, you guys look across the country, and if you play bad, you're going to get beat. And sometimes when you play good, you get beat when you play good teams. So you have to go out there and play and perform at a high level and execute what you're trying to execute. And our guys have had a lot of focus, and there's not been many days when they didn't look like they were mentally engaged in what we were doing that day.
Trey is savage. Cliff, I don't know what more we can say about him at this point. He almost throws another shortened 7-inning no-hitter, obviously 1 out away. And just what did you see from Trey in Memphis on Friday night?
Well, we really didn't want to run him back out there. We were going to keep him, I think it was at 85 pitches before the 7th inning. And AK goes down to talk to him, and he said, Trey won't let me take him out of the game. I said, well, all right, well, if he gives up a hit, we're taking him out of the game. And, of course, he walked a guy in that inning, and I think it was I can't remember who the kid was. It wasn't Compton. It was a right-handed batter, but he's like fouling off pitches. And then AK was just trying to get a first pitch out, throwing a fastball to the guy that ended up getting the hit. And I go to the mound to take him out, and he's like, Coach, I got this. I said, I know you got it, but you're coming out of the game, so we're going to somebody else because you're over 100 pitches tonight. So, which we kind of laughed about. I said, there'll be a time when I'll leave you out here, but not today. So, went to D-Lo, and D-Lo was able to secure the shutout, which was awesome.
I feel like Justin Wilcox and coaches kind of quietly put together just a really solid year. Obviously surging offensively, but defensively has looked more like his old self. He's got double-digit home runs now. Had a big homer yesterday. What have you seen from Justin these last few weeks?
And J-Dub's just steady Eddie, man, almost to a fault, man. He's the same guy every day. He's been much better of looking mentally alert. Even when he's caught all weekend, JC made kind of a joke, but a compliment of, hey, you caught all 3 games this weekend. Great job. And J-Dub looked at him and was like, I did that a lot last year, so that's not a big deal. But he just is very professional about the way he goes about his business. And him and Starling have a really unique relationship where they, joke with one another, which keeps them loose before games and stuff. So he's just stayed the course. He didn't start out the way he wanted to offensively at the beginning of the year, and he's just kept doing what he's doing. And Coach Lartigue and Pack have worked with him and fine-tuning some things, but we felt confidently that he would do this, because he's a very good player, and I'm just excited that his hard work is paying off.
We're talking with Pirate baseball coach Cliff Godwin as ECU knocks off NC State last Tuesday, and then the weekend sweep at Memphis. 2 guys that their processes have led to their success, I have to imagine. On the overall career arch with Carter Cunningham, what a huge year. He's having the 2 home runs. Sunday now has a dozen, and he and Wilcox, as Igo was asking you about, are the double-digit home run guys at this point. And then Dixon Williams, who was hitting the ball at people, it seemed like the beginning of the year, just wasn't getting any of those to go through. Now he's stuck with the process, and it's starting to show in productivity. So could you talk about that process, Cliff, and a little bit about that with those 2 guys in particular, Carter overarching, and then Dixon, in this season in particular?
Carter, it's about his faith. I mean, he gives all the credit to God, and he's playing a game that has pressure, like he's playing wiffle ball in the backyard. He doesn't make a strikeout bigger than what it is if he does strike out, which I think he struck out a couple of times this weekend. And he goes in there and puts together quality at bats. People are pitching him tough. Yesterday, the 2-run homer, I went back and looked on video, and of course it's a 3-2 count. but I know that's not where that pitcher was trying to throw that pitch. I mean, because it was elevated and it was kind of down the middle, and Carter put a good swing on it and hit it out. But so proud of just his leadership and what he's meant to this team with the Bible studies and just the leadership that he provides with our team. He has earned all the success he's getting, and he's given all the glory to God, which is really cool. Dixon actually rooms with Carter on the road, which is intentional because, Dixon's going to be a leader in our program. He already is to a certain extent, and I want him and Carter to have those conversations on the road. But Dixon puts a lot of pressure on himself. He's super competitive, and we've had to, just help him navigate the mental side of the game when you're lining out. Hey man, that's a good swing. You can't get down on yourself. You can't listen to these people that look at your batting average all the time. It's going to come around. The percentages say if you play a lot, that if you line out a lot, that's a good thing. And then there'll be some blue pits that fall. So, and he played awesome this weekend, not just offensively, but defensively, made some really good plays at third this weekend, and even at second base when we were able to get Starling out of the game early on Friday. So just proud of him of staying the course and not listening to all the outside naysayers when early in the season maybe the production wasn't showing up on a stat sheet when all the coaches had a ton of confidence in him.
Henry Lartigue from family, obviously in Mississippi. I think a lot of them were there. Maybe he was on Twitter. You may have even reposted it that I saw, but that was pretty cool. You can't really understate what he's meant, and you've talked about it. His availability to the players and the ideas that he's brought. It just seems like this is also a big part of the reason offensively so many guys are having such tremendous success.
Well, I think he has a really good way about him. Henry is a really intelligent guy, but he's also got a lot of common sense and is able to relate to players. Of course, he played at a high level, was a switch hitter, caught at Ole Miss, and then played several years of professional baseball, made it up to AAA. Probably would have played in the big leagues if it wasn't for an injury. But he just has a really good calming presence about himself. It's a really good, probably good recipe for success with his calming presence. And then, sometimes I can be intense, not as intense as I was 10 years ago, but, him and I and Pack bounce ideas off one another, and it's a great working relationship. We talk about what our plan's going to be before the hitters meeting, and Henry and Pack do a really good job of presenting the information to our players. And then, like you said, he works with them a ton, and they have great relationships with him. So, they love him, and that's the awesome thing about being a coach, man. When you're in the fight with them in the cages and stuff, and you just see that that minimal progression over time, and you look up one day and go, oh man, this guy's like so much better than he was 6 months ago, and that's really cool when Henry and Pack do a great job with our guys.
You mentioned Bryant, Packard. How have you seen him grow in this role as a coach?
I think Pack is, now starting to, hold guys accountable at a higher level. Pack always got his stuff done as a player, of course, but, he likes to joke. He's got a great personality. I said this to our team, but, Pack had a unique ability to be able to joke around with me, but also knowing when it wasn't the time to. So I love guys that have personality. I just don't like guys that are clowns. Clowns are distractions. And, Pack was never that. But I think he has been able to have some really individual conversations with a lot of our players, specifically Ryan McChrystal. I think Pack has probably helped him more than anybody else on our team. Just navigating the mental side of the game, and then, of course, working with him on his swing.
Coach, rest is the order of the day for the week. There's academics too, so it's kind of a unique time. Kind of comes at a good time too. If somebody's just joining us, kind of what is the game plan as a whole for the week?
Like I said, just getting their feet back underneath us today and tomorrow. They'll lift weights. They'll be focused on their exams, body recovery, eating, maintaining their weight, all that good stuff. And then we will practice on Wednesday, practice on Thursday, and then be ready for South Florida on Friday.
All right, Coach. Thanks for the time as always. We really appreciate it, and best of luck getting through the week, and also in the South Florida series coming up. As you said, starts Friday with the 6 p.m. game against the Bulls. Cliff, thank you.
Thank you.